Welcome back to module 8 of this unit 1, that is data analysis, and we will be talking about how to design a questionnaire in this module. If we recall, in the previous module we talked about the different types of data, specifically primary data and secondary data. What do we mean by primary data, what do we mean by secondary data, and the various methods of collecting this data. Okay. And you're most likely, as we talked in the previous module, depending on what kind of research you are doing on, you're most likely to have a sort of a questionnaire to collect the data, because it is the most reliable one and it is specifically for your needs, tailor-made for your needs. You will be asking these questions to respondents based on your needs, and you don't have to really depend on someone else to collect the data. And most of the people these days, they prefer using a questionnaire in collecting data. So in this module we'll be talking about how to go about constructing a questionnaire and the various problems that are involved, the factors that are involved while you are constructing a questionnaire. What is a questionnaire? Now we know that it's a set of questions designed for some survey, okay, and it is to gather some information. There is some question that you want to answer, and to answer this question, okay, we have this set of sub questions that you need to answer, for which you need to gather information. Okay, so a questionnaire is a set of questions designed for the purpose of a survey to gather some information. Now, why we need a questionnaire? As we said, we have to, there is some question, some process that needs to be studied, and that can be answered only based on collecting some data. Once we collect data, we'll be in a position to answer the question that we are trying to answer. Okay, so the origin of this problem, okay, like how we end up having a questionnaire, is because there is some research problem that is involved. There is some dilemma that is faced by some entity. It can be some organization that you want to answer a question, or organization trying to find out how good is their product in terms of quality. They want to know from the customers, or they want to study their sales. So, or it can be some social cause, a person, an organization working for some social cause for which they want to collect data, or it can be some even government organization which want to collect feedback or study something. Okay. So there is some problem in general, a social or a business problem that is involved, okay, and that is the origin of this process. So the role of the researcher is to translate this problem in terms of a research question. So from this problem, what we do is we write down our research question. The researcher translates the problem into a research question. Okay. Once we have a research question, okay, we pertaining to the question or the problem that we are trying to study, this research question is then studied based on some analytical questions. So after a research question is ready, then we write down our analytical questions, and these are very specific questions to answer your research questions. Once the questions are ready, then you decide upon how you are going to measure. Okay, the researcher collects answers from participants to provide solutions to the problem. So this measurement is done through the questionnaire, the way you construct your questions in the questionnaire. Let's say, for example, we have been talking about in our data analysis modules, we have been talking about the data where we are having those restaurants, a cost of meals in Mumbai and Chennai. Now this came because somebody wanted to know which among the two cities are cheaper to live. Okay. So there was some dilemma that is involved, and the dilemma or the problem was somebody wanted to find out which among the two cities, Mumbai and Chennai, is cheaper for living. Now when it comes to living, there are different factors that are involved. One is food, one is the stay, the real estate. So what you'll do is, you'll try to study all these factors. So once you have the problem, you'll define your research question, and the research question will be pertaining to the problem, because you want to find out which of the two cities among Mumbai and Chennai is cheaper for living. Now this living will include food, working, then real estate. So your question, you'll frame your question based on that. The question will be, which among the two cities, Mumbai and Chennai, is cheaper for food, real estate, investments, etc. and etc. Okay, so this becomes your research question. Then once this research question is ready, then you analyze this question based on some sub questions, okay? And they will be more with respect to in line with your analysis. So you try to find out what is the average cost of meal in Mumbai, what is the average cost of meal in Chennai. So you are looking at the cost of meal in the two cities. So corresponding to this factor, your analytical question will be this: the average cost in Mumbai, the average cost in Chennai, the cost of living index in Mumbai and Chennai. So this becomes your analytical questions. And then the measurement question is those data that you collected in those modules. You collected the cost of meals in 50 restaurants in Mumbai and Chennai. So you decide what data to collect, okay, how to collect the data. That will all come in the measurement questions, and this measurement questions is your questionnaire. Okay, so there is a bigger dilemma. There is a dilemma that is involved that you need to resolve, based on which you form your research question. To answer this research question, you frame your analytical questions, and to answer these analytical questions, you have a questionnaire, or you have measurement questions. So this is the flow of how we reach at a questionnaire. Now, what are the different challenges that are involved in this process? Okay. Now, the most important one is when you are translating the research question into an analytical question. So you have a dilemma, you have a problem that needs to be solved, which you have put into a research question. This is the research question. Okay. Which among the two cities, Mumbai and Chennai, is cheaper for food or real estate investments, etc. That is your research question. It is very important. Now you decide how you are going to measure it. Now how are you going to measure the cost of food? So for that, you need to construct your analytical questions. So to translate research questions into the analytical question is the most important task. The second one is to see that the analytical questions measure what research question wants. Okay, once you have framed your analytical questions, you try to find out whether your analytical questions really measure or answer the research question that you want to answer. Okay. The third is to construct the right measurement question, which best connects to the analytical questions. Okay, you have to construct your questions such a way that these questions will measure, okay, the analytical questions that you are trying to answer. Okay. Another challenge is to reduce the unnecessary data that might occur due to incorrect measurement questions. Okay. Now this is where your questionnaire will come into picture. You have to make sure that you are asking your questions only those questions which are required for your analysis. Often what happens is, usually people collect data first without even defining their objectives, okay, and the research questions, and then they start wondering what to do with the data. So it's very important that the research question is defined first, based on which the objective is defined. Once you have your objectives, you will have your analytical questions, and then your measurement questions. Okay. Unless you have followed this flow, you are always likely to land up in unnecessary data, or data that you may collect from the respondents, which may not be even useful to you. Now what you should do? What you should do is have a proper plan. Okay, the right analysis before you construct the measurement questions. Like how I said, Have your research questions defined properly, your objectives, and the way you're going to measure it. Next is find out which is the best scale to measure the analytical questions. And there are different measurement scales that are involved: nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio. Like nominal is when you have sort of a data which involves males and females. Okay. Ordinal is sort of a Likert scale. You have something, you're trying to rate something on the scale of say 1 to 5, 1 to 10. That's separate there. This scaling is something that we'll be talking about in future. But most importantly, at this stage, you should know that you have to define your measurement scale correctly and in line with your analytical question. You should also decide what should be the communication mode. How is that you are going to collect this data? What will be the communication mode to the respondents? Determine the structure of the questions. Okay, so before you ask questions, you have to determine the structure of the questions. What kind of questions you are going to ask to the respondents. And a very important part of any research is the pilot study or preliminary analysis. So what we need to do is, suppose you decide that you have to ask some questions to say 2000 respondents. Depending on your population size, you will decide your sample size. Now it is best to carry out a small study first, okay, a smaller study, and then go to the bigger study. So instead of going directly to this 2000 respondents, what you do is you collect the data from a small sample of say 30 to 50 people and analyze this small sample. Analyze this sample, inline it, whether it is measuring what you are trying to measure, whether it is really answering the question that you are trying to answer. Okay, so you'll have a sort of an idea whether the questionnaire that you have framed is a right one or not. Okay. In case you do not use this pilot study, what you may do is you may directly go and collect the data, and after collecting the entire data, then you may realize that there is an error in the questionnaire, or there is something wrong, or the question is not really measuring what you're trying to measure. All those. So if you do a small study first, you'll be in a position to analyze all these things, whether your questionnaire is good enough to carry out the entire process. So it's always advisable to carry out a pilot study before you go for the entire and the main study. Once you know what to measure, okay, and what kind of a questionnaire, okay, you have to decide on the complete list of questions. Okay. Once you have the complete list of questions, and or while you are framing it, you need to decide whether you will frame your own questionnaire or questions, or you should be borrowing somebody else's questionnaire. Okay. This is something that we'll have to decide. You'll have to decide on the question categories and structure. You'll have to decide on what kind of questions that you are going to answer. Usually a questionnaire has 3 sections. And administrative questions is the general information where you'll ask the name of the person, the email ID of the person, the phone number of the person, okay, that sort of a thing. Then there is classification questions, where you will try to classify your respondents based on some categories. Okay, let's say males, females, income group, where they live, geographical location. Okay, these are all classification questions, where you will try to categorize or classify those respondents in categories based on your interest. And the third section is usually the target question, and this is with respect to the analysis that you are doing. Okay, like the cost of meals, you'll find out that will be your target questions. You'll find out what is the cost of meal in this particular hotel or this particular place, and so on. After you have decided this, decide on the collection process, how you are going to collect your data. Now this is something that we already answered when we talked about primary and secondary data. Okay. Now since your data is going to be primary, you have to decide on how you are going to collect it, whether it is by observation or whether it is by interviews, personal interviews, indirect interviews, or it is through mailed questionnaire, whether you are going to mail those questionnaire and asking those people to do. So you have to decide on the collection process. After that, you have to while you are framing your questionnaire, you have to also decide on your question content. Okay, you have to see whether the question matches your objective, the question that you are trying to answer. Whether a particular question should it be asked. Can the question be answered adequately and willingly? Okay, so while you are framing a question, these are some things that you have to be careful. The question should always be asked, okay, in line to the question, the analytical questions. The question wording also plays a very important role when the respondent gives their answers or responses. Okay, you have to make sure and see that the question is not misleading. They should be very simple to answer. The question should not be biased, and the question should be very easy to understand. Okay, so when you are wording your questions, you have to make sure that you keep it very simple for the respondent to understand it very well. It's not biased and misleading. The questionnaire should always be validated and checked for reliability. Now, what do you mean by validity of a questionnaire is, once you have framed your questionnaire, you should always ask some experts in those areas to check whether these questions measure exactly what they are supposed to measure or what you are intending to measure. So these experts will give their opinions about it, whether it is a valid questionnaire which really measures what you are trying to measure. Reliability is sort of a statistical one, where you check the reliability of the questionnaire. In a way, you'll try to find out whether those questions that have been there in the question, whether they are consistent enough. Okay. So there are different statistical tools that are involved in measuring reliability. This is something that can be studied at a higher level. But when you're framing a questionnaire, validity and reliability both play a very important role in deciding whether your questionnaire is good enough or no, or whether it measures or answers the question that you're really intending to answer. Now, different types of questions that are involved when you're framing a question. One is the open response questions, where you're asking a person to write their own ideas. It can be anything. Suppose I want the feedback about my product. I'll ask a respondent to just write in this many words their opinion about this particular product. So there are no restrictions from your side in what they are writing. You're just asking them in short, maybe in short answer or a long answer. Then there are dichotomous questions. They are like yes, no, agree, disagree. They are precisely two responses, either yes or no, agree or disagree. Okay, so these are let's say, for example, do you like this product, yes or no? Okay. So they have only one of the two choices to answer. The other one are multiple choice questions, and multiple choice questions can be of different types. One is the checklist questions. A checklist question is the one in which the order is not important. Let's say, for example, you want to find out which is the mobile network internet service which is good. Suppose somebody is trying to find out which is the network service which is good. So they'll just ask you which of the following internet services have you used. So they'll give you a list of companies, and they'll just ask you to tick mark the ones that you have used. So there is no order that is involved here. Okay, there will be just company names in this case, like Idea, Airtel, Vodafone, Jio, and you'll be just asked to tick mark. So these are called as checklist questions. The other kind of questions are rating questions, where there is order that is involved. Okay, so it's something like you are asking someone to rate the services of the network on the scale of 1 to 5. 5 is very good, okay, and 1 is very poor. Okay, so there is an order that is involved here. This scale can be of any big. It can be from 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 depending on your way of measuring it. Or there is this Likert scale which has those strongly agree, and those that 5 points. So when order is important, they are called as rating questions. There are also called as ranking questions, where you try to rank someone. Here also there is an order that is involved. Now these are similar to checklist questions, except now that you are trying to rank someone, so there is some sort of a order that is involved. Rank the top 3 factors among the following for choice of your phone. Okay, so these are different from your rating questions, where you're trying to rate someone on the scale of say 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. Here you're trying to rank someone. So you'll be given some 10 factors, and you have to, out of this you have to rank 1, rank 2 and rank 3. Okay, so these are again sort of a nominal questions, but there is a rank that is involved here. Okay, and these are again multiple, you have multiple choices. Okay, so it's a multiple choice question. So a multiple choice question is broadly again divided into checklist questions, rating questions and ranking questions. Now while you're framing a questionnaire, okay, when you're approaching a respondent to fill up a question, it's always better to inform them what is the study about. Or if you are sending this questionnaire through say by post or by mail, it is always better to have a covering letter, so that the person is told about what this study is about and what is the purpose of collecting this data. Okay? If you are going for a personal interview, if you are collecting it yourself, it's always better to introduce yourself and the reason why. In case the objective of the study is not known to this respondent, then this study is called as disguised. Okay? And in case you very well tell the respondent what is the objective of the study, then it is called as undisguised. Okay? It's always better to have an undisguised study as compared to a disguised study. Okay? Because the responses of the person will always depend on how well he knows the history or the purpose of this study. The number of questions should be small. Okay? Usually people get very discouraged if they feel, if they see a large number of questions that needs to be answered in a questionnaire. So you need to keep it adequate, minimum number of questions which will serve the purpose of your study, and only ask those many questions. Preferably keep it a very small number of questions, then people are usually willing to answer the questions or fill the questionnaire. Question should follow a particular sequence. Okay, it's important that you frame your questionnaire in a logical sequence, usually from simple to complex, simple questions first, or general question first, then going into specific. Okay, so there is an order that is being followed when you are writing your questions in a questionnaire. Question should be very easy to understand, so that the respondent is very well willing to answer those and have no difficulty in understanding those questions. Personal questions should be avoided in a questionnaire. Okay. The question should have objective answers. Okay, when you're asking a question, the respondent should be in a position to give an objective answer and should not be confused. Okay, there should be a straight away objective answer to the question that you are asking. Okay, when you are sending, especially when you are sending a questionnaire by post or by mail or by through social networking sites, you should frame your questionnaire so that it quickly generates interest among the people. Okay, let's say for example, if you want to study some climate issue, okay, since most of the people are very usually willing in participating in this kind of issues, it quickly generates their interest in filling their questionnaire. Then the study of some product. Okay, so it depends on what issue you are talking about. When you're framing your questionnaire, you should frame your question in such a way that it quickly generates interest so that the respondent is willing to fill up those questions. Okay, so a small example of a questionnaire. Like this is a questionnaire that is been framed to study the teaching staff, how is their, so we have a title here in this questionnaire, okay, teaching staff survey in Goa, and there is a description of what this study is about. Of course here this is only one line, but depending on your interest you can write it as big as you want, so that you convey your message to the respondent. This research aims at investigating the overall work satisfaction among the teachers in Goa. Okay, so this questionnaire will have depending on those categories. Okay, one is the administrative. You're asking for name. It can be optional. You're asking for gender. Now this will be a classification question. Age is a classification question. Name of the affiliated institute also. So you're basically trying to study what is the satisfaction level among the teachers in Goa with respect to their work culture. Okay, so if you're asking their name, phone number, email ID, that is a administrative question. Gender, age, their institute, type of the institute, employment status, these are all classification questions. Total. So this is an open-ended question. These are multiple choice questions. Okay, so you'll see all sort of questions here. Now these are target questions, while all these were classification questions and administrative questions. Then your target question. So we are going from general to specific, simple to complex, and in a logical sequence. Is it clear what is expected of you at work? Okay, you are giving them this is a rating question now, from 1 to 5. 1 means strongly disagree, 5 means strongly agree. Okay, so you have, depending on your study, you have all these questions. Okay, most of these questions are on the Likert scale. Okay, these are the target questions. Okay, so a questionnaire will be something of this form depending on what you are trying to study. Thank you.